Hello, this is going to be my first personal vlog on YouTube. I am not the person that normally talks to myself or to a camera. At the least, I have at least one person watching me on Twitch and backing me up so I don't feel like a lunatic. But this is going to be also a little off topic from what I normally talk about. See, on my Twitch, my followers will know that I love to talk about up-to-date science and what's going on in just the scientific world, especially space. Space is my heart and passion. It is what I think is the next step for humans. And I know there's a lot of criticism around that. There's ideas that we're wasting money by going into space. Well, my biggest selling point is that most of human problems arise from scarcity, whether it be water, resources, space for us to live in. No matter what it is, it's a scarcity of some source, a limited capacity of us to have a material or thing that we need to continue to mature. And space has all that. It has all that and more. It has more of that than you could ever imagine. We have the International Space Station. I've been screaming into the void for years that while great, the International Space Station is a wonderful, place to study in space. We need a spaceport. We need a manufacturing hub in space. Well, that's not going to happen until we have pretty much an infrastructure. The same way we set up our roads and our bridges here in America before we started to do interstate commerce as fluidly as we do today, we need to do that into space. It's going to take billions, if not trillions of dollars, but once this groundwork is laid, humanity will have a step forward to, if not lower scarcity to the point where it does not matter anymore, eliminate it completely. We have a water shortage here on Earth. You know what there's plenty of in space? Water. People think, space must not have that much, or if it is, it's on the other planets. No, little rocks fly around space that contain hundreds, if not millions, of tons of water that could be easily redirected into the moon's orbit, captured, mined, and then used for fuel. Water itself, you can rip apart the hydrogen and the oxygen and then use that for your space peoples that need something to breathe. The base idea here is, I don't know, the idea popped into my head because I was scrolling through my Facebook feed, and oftentimes I'll be for years talking, and then finally Pop Science or Science America or someone will post a journal article or something like that that says NASA's thinking about looking into commercial space stations. Whoa, I fucking called it. But space station? Why? If NASA's already at the point where they're able to pull billions of dollars, not even from the government anymore, they've got private contractors, private investors, and other things that are willing to dump a lot of money if the ideas are sound and if the profit that can come back from it is solid. And something like this is solid because, as nice as it is to have unlimited iron or nickel or palladium or tin or any of these other metals that we could get from the asteroids after setting up an infrastructure to capture, mine, produce raw materials from, it'd be wonderful. There's got to be some money to be made. Otherwise, no one's going to want to do it. And I've always said that the first person to set up a proper asteroid mining setup, even just one as a proof of concept, will be the world's first trillionaire. The individual that comes up with this idea and makes the company will be an instant overnight trillionaire. It might take him a while to accrue that trillion, but his worth will be a trillion the instant he does it. Because one plain nickel iron asteroid contains enough metal to completely flood the Earth's market and make iron worth nothing for a while, until the demand goes back up, because right now we're only producing as much as we can supply as far as raw materials go. But what if you can supply as much raw materials as a heart's content? Well, then more and more businesses are going to pop up producing more and more items from iron, and it's just an expansion. It's an exponential growth from there, and humanity's already been on an exponential growth curve for the past 10 to 30 years. And with the advent of AI, we no longer need humans to go into space to handle it. We just need a sophisticated enough computer system on board a craft to go out there and say, hey, boop, asteroid, come on home. And To dig even a little deeper into this concept, the reason I say to bring these materials into Earth's or the moon's orbit is so there are a lot of countries around the world have signed a treaty that says you cannot own things in space. Well, in space outside of the moon's orbit, because it's everybody's. It's space. That would be kind of fucked if I could fly out to Jupiter, throw a flag in it, and say, "Hey, it's no longer Jupiter, it's Justiner." No, that wouldn't fly. A lot of governments would get really mad. So they handled that back in the space race age. So the idea is, well, if it's inside the moon's orbit, you can have it because satellites and all those other things have to be privately owned. And if we said that everything in space isn't privately owned, there'd be a lot of mayhem. So the idea is you bring your craft, you get it out there, you get your nickel iron asteroid that weighs about 4,000 tons or something stupid like that. Maybe even more, I don't know. You slowly nudge it into an orbit that will bring it into contact with the moon's orbit. It might take 5, it might take 10 years. That's why you don't just do one. You go out there and you capture hundreds, if not, tens to hundreds of asteroids, and you all redirect them carefully, very carefully, to start orbiting the moon in different directions, the same way we do our satellites here at Earth. Once they're in the moon's orbit, we'd need to set up an infrastructure on the moon to then capture those materials, mine them in the orbit, send the raw materials that are mined from those asteroids back down to the moon's surface, grind them all up, and then you send them to that spaceport we were talking about. Or you use those raw materials on the moon to build the spaceport, and because of the moon's significantly reduced gravity, you'd literally have the capacity to just go and push it up into orbit. You would need large thrusters from then to then maneuver it where you would want it, probably within a Lagrange point around the Earth. But a spaceport, the main reason I want a spaceport is because all that asteroid mining, those billions and trillions of dollars that we set up to have these little bitty fucking probes go and poop asteroids around, a proper spaceship would be able to just send people out there, mine it in place, bring the raw materials back, drop them off at destination. And eventually, when our robotics and our AIs are smart enough, no more risking human lives, we just have hundreds, if not thousands of ships going out into deep space, capturing the materials we need, bringing them back to the moon, harvesting the materials, and then launching those fuckers back to Earth. Like, it's the next step. It may take 10 or 20 years, but if anything that I've learned over the past, my lifetime, is that my predictions are flawed in one way, that I don't expect much from humanity, and then they go and overdo my expectations. They do it faster. I didn't think we'd have any kind of neural network computer capable thing within another 10 or 20 years, but here we are with the neural networks that are capable of defining and creating fine art and poems and music. So I'll leave it there. If this video is something that you guys find enjoyable, please let me know down in the comments. If you think that you'd like to see more of me, gaming videos, talking videos, science videos, just let me know. And also feel free to like the video and subscribe to my ugly face ass. So I will see everyone later. Have a great day. Bye.